Hi, Davi here. Today we have a new episode in the art session series. And today we're going to be doing an overview or a voiceover of a recent art session I did. And in this case, or for this whole session, I think I was focusing mainly on just drawing. Compared to say the last video, I think I decided to go for like a painting kind of approach, where I do consider values a lot. But this time I just felt like doing some line work, focused drawings. And I actually started this whole session with, I think I was just trying too much because I had Pinterest opened up, and I saw this cool set of drawings of these like helicopter propulsion types of, basically they were very like vehicle mech type subjects. And so I wanted to do something kind of like that, and it just did not turn out well. And I think I was trying to, cause, I felt inspired to draw, or I felt that the drawing I was looking at on Pinterest was cool. I loved the artwork, the design, but it doesn't mean that I should have drawn something of it, especially if I don't really have, number one, the experience, but also the inclination for it, or I was interested in drawing something out of it, or from that subject, from that inspiration, but I don't know, I think I was just trying to add too many details, which I had no idea. Like I literally had no idea what I was doing. And you could see the same thing with the second sketch. I think I was trying to do like a person in some kind of suit with like a mask, but it just was not checking out. And I think when it comes to drawing, I think you have to, if you want to progress in a more sustainable way, in a more easy kind of way, I think you have to prioritize comfort. Basically, draw the thing that gives you the most comfort, then bit by bit to sort of add some new changes as you go. Like eventually you're going to learn how to draw I don't know, the thumb a little better next time, or maybe you'll learn something about how the knuckles or the fingers are drawn, and then maybe you can add that one thing to your already comfort or your comfort sort of drawing habits. And for me, I realized that I tend to just have I have like a solid habit of drawing figures, like human figures, even without like the head, like headless, legless, sometimes armless people. So I think it's just best for me to just start there and grow from that base of interest. Or I think for the third sketch, I think I was I still referenced a photo, not still, but I think for the second sketch with the failed sort of suit guy, I was trying to do that from imagination. Turned out horrible. But for the third sketch, I think I did have some kind of reference. So I think that helped me sort of realize that drawing figures was just the way I had to go, right? And for the bottom one, drawing the kind of muscle guy, he kind of looks like the God of War dude, Kratos. I did play God of War in my PSP for super cool. I love the whole chains and the blades on those chains, the tips anyway. I just love the sort of mechanics of it. So I was very happy with the Kratos guy, or the buff sort of guy at the bottom with the beard. And now that's from imagination, which I do like. And I did notice that the way I drew the lines was a lot more like efficient. And I was trying to be just not as cluttered. Like if I can draw something with just one line, then I'm gonna do that. But you'll notice there was kind of a change in the way I approached the line work, because I did change the tools for drawing those lines, or these lines. So I started this whole thing with my XPPen Artist 22 Gen 2, or second generation tablet. So that's a screen display tablet where you have like a monitor that you can literally draw on the screen and have the it has a screen basically. And then after a while, in the last few sketches, I switched over to my old Wacom Intuos Pro S, and you can tell by the line work was a bit different. I wasn't trying to go for like my lines were a little more scratchy, but I still like the way it kind of looked. And I think having a couple of different tablets helped just because I was seriously getting tired with my like hunching over. There's a different feeling having to draw on screen. It just feels more tactile, it feels like you have more control, so that's cool. But sometimes you just want to step away a bit and have more of a like some space in between. And I think having like a pen tablet, a no screen tablet, I think helps with that. And it does help with posture because you can just move around a little more, right? It's kind of like using a mouse, but a more precise mouse. So I do recommend having both, having a screen display or a pen display tablet and a normal graphics / pen tablet, without the screen. It just gives you a lot more room to do your work, right? Because if I forced myself to do, like, I probably would have stopped if I stuck to my screen display, but just switching over to my pen tablet, I think I was able to push a little longer with this session. Yeah. My intention was to paint something, but I just ended up drawing, so it happens, right? Not all sessions will be the same. And I think this is good because you want to approach your art sort of time by, I'm not saying this is the right way, but if you're just trying to build a habit, you want to be a bit more fluid. You want to be consistent, sure, but you want to be fluid. So maybe if you're not feeling like painting today, maybe just focus on doing some drawings like the same way I'm doing them in this recording, right? And for the bulk of these, I was mainly drawing from imagination. And what's cool about drawing from imagination is it helps you see your weak points, right? But it also helps you approach your weak points, because if you don't draw something the right way the first time, you're sort of, because you don't have reference, right? You're sort of encouraged to find a solution. So you end up problem solving as you draw this way without reference. Like, you're more likely to think about what kind of makes sense, what doesn't. And I think it helps you develop your own set of experiences, right? And I'm not saying don't use reference, but I think if you have the habit of over relying on a reference and you end up like copying things one is to one, then maybe this kind of thing where you just open up your canvas, open up your sketchbook page, and just draw away and try to figure things out by lots of trial and error or iterations. I think it's a much more engaging approach, number one, but it also helps you practice that imaginative muscle, that problem solving muscle. If it doesn't work the first time, then you do it again and again and again until you find a solution that works. And you will know, like, when you step back from your own drawing, you're gonna find like something that it doesn't look right, something is off. So it develops your eye as well, in a way. In fact, you don't even need to develop your eye. Like, if you're constantly if you're the observant type and you enjoy looking at other people's artwork or just life in general, you're gonna notice some patterns. And once you draw, you're gonna have that sort of framework or that set of goggles, and you're gonna compare what you've drawn to what you've seen in your past sort of experiences, and you're gonna know when something works, when something doesn't work. So I think having sessions like these where you just draw without reference, just doodling, making shit up, experimenting, I think it helps engage that side of your, I guess, brain. Now, I think for the sketch in the left-hand side, it's sort of like it's a torso study. That's when I think I switched from a pen display, my XPPen Artist 22, to my Wacom Intuos Pro S pen tablet. And yeah, you'll notice the lines are a little more scratchy, but I did like it. Like, I was able to, in fact, I felt a little more free in a way, because I could just erase. Like I kind of expected that my lines were not going to be as cool or as clean, so that less or that downward having less pressure, I think was able to this was able to help me draw, I think, a little more, because I wasn't so like pressured, or I did not feel like I had to get it right with like 1 or 2 lines. So I didn't mind having like a bunch of scratchy lines. And besides, you can always erase anyway. You can hit Control Z, and you can always make like when you add your line work, you can always use your pen pressure. So when you do draw your lines, it won't be as heavy. It can be kind of light. So it doesn't have to be too. Even if you have tons of lines, it doesn't have to look messy if you have like pen pressure, because you can sort of build up your drawing by starting off with lighter strokes, and then if you do decide to commit, then you add more pen pressure to make the lines thicker, or maybe you just add more lines to wherever area you want to like emphasize. So I think having sessions like these really help you sort of find the kind of approach that's comfortable for you, because I think we're able to draw in many like methods and ways, but I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is finding the way or the approach that makes the most sense, that is comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be like one way. You can have a couple of ways, but the point is you want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that makes sense to you and is easy for you to do, right? Because if your drawing approach is something that kind of fights with your own natural like inclinations, then I think you're just wasting time. And that's kind of the thing, you know, with because there are many methods out there. For example, there's the Riley method. There's the books like George Bridgman, stuff like that. Or if you check out the work of Michael Hampton, like there's so many artists out there who have popular ways of drawing. Like they're sort of standards in the art space. They're great, but I don't think you should be so attached to them. I think they're a good subject or a good resource to have, but I think eventually for most artists, you're gonna have to sort of make your own or approach things in your own way. Consider what they have to say, right? Because sometimes their breakdowns or some parts of it anyway, may make sense to you, but it's not gonna be a one size fits all. It's not gonna solve all of your problems. Like you need to solve things your own way eventually, right? These types of resources can help, but they can't help you all the way. They're sort of like additive, supplementary guides, but they're not like the heavy hitters. I think just being on your canvas, being on your sketchbook, I think that's where most of the learning, the progress is gonna happen. I think I also did try to draw like a Hulk-ish guy, basically a big guy with big arms. Still drawing with the pen tablet. Just trying to fill up the empty space says in the canvas. But yeah. And again, look at my drawings. Are they all complete? Like some of them are half done, some of them are kind of messy. But I'm happy with them. You know, I felt like I learned something. And I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the process. And I was watching something as I was drawing too, like on my other like monitor. So it was kind of a chill art session. I wasn't so like art only, like 100% focused on my canvas or board. It was more chill, and I think this is a good way for me to study because I'm just not that super like hardcore, like no distractions kind of guy. Like I need to have something, you know, on the side to kind of watch or listen to. Well, by the way, I did make the background gray. I think it was somewhere at I think I set the number at 175 in the grays. because I think my eyes were hurting because everything was so blinding because, of the whole white canvas thing. And then I decided to paint in some white on the drawings, right? To sort of set it apart from the gray canvas. And I think it looked cool. I could have used like a lasso fill tool or something, but it was kind of boring. I mean, maybe next time I'll try doing that, but I don't know. I think painting it in and, erasing things in this more crude, rough way, I think it looks kind of cool. And when it comes to the brush I use a brush that had some texture, so it just makes it look a lot more artsy, because everything was, you already have like a solid gray background that's super flat. So why make the whites gray as well? I mean, there are no rules, but I just wanted some texture to my work, even though these are like sketches or doodles. It just felt kind of nice to add a bit of some inconsistencies that comes with having some texture. And I did like it. Look at that, pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm not really sure what the takeaway is for this video. Maybe just draw, or because when I do these rants, I don't always have like one idea in mind. I just sort of talk. I've been getting some comments here and there, not many, but some people recommend in the comments that I use a script. That's not how I do my videos. I just sort of say what I say, like in one go. I mean, maybe I will have some notes for like the product reviews, but even that, it's rare for me to use like a script or even a set of notes. And the reason why is it kind of gets in my way, right? It slows me down, and but I do it, sure, but if it takes more time, if I'm not really into it, then why do it? You know what I mean? You want to make sure that your approach, now this is more of a content creation thing, but you can see how finding a solution that makes sense for you as the individual, I think, is sort of a secret. Not really a secret, but it's something that a lot of people ignore. I think you can accomplish a lot of things if you just admit that you work better a certain kind of way. So for me, being raw is kind of my vibe. When I do my videos, I don't really like use notes, use a script. There are downsides. It's not going to be as organized, sure, but if it gets me to make a video, if I end up doing more videos anyway, and if it fits my natural inclinations, and I like admit it, if it meets a lot of my personal like needs and goals, then I don't really mind. And I think you can apply the same principle in your own like art. You want to find an approach to your artwork that makes sense to you, because there's so many ways to do something, especially in the art sort of realm. So doing these sessions gives you that opportunity to find out again what works for you. Like you'll figure out like the best way for you to draw, how long often you should draw, the kinds of subject to draw. Like you will find these things out by drawing. So if you don't know what to do, just spend time. Make your goal this: spend time in your canvas, in your sketchbook sort of page, and just draw whatever. And I think in that process of just showing up, you would just figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, subject-wise, time-wise. Maybe you'll realize, oh shit, like you work better when you just sketch for like 30 minutes. Maybe you're more of a long, maybe you can sit things out for like 5 hours or something, and that seems to just work for you. You will never know. Like, who knows? The best way to know or figure this out is to actually be there and draw, right? And yeah, I guess that's the main takeaway for this episode, is to just spend time and you'll find out, right? And that's kind of a cool thing, because you don't really have like, it's not a very pressuring answer, right? You don't need like a list of 10 things before you can find something out. All you need to do is do one thing. Just spend time doing that thing, and you'll figure out what to do bit by bit over time. Right? This whole process will inform you of what to do even more or what to avoid more of. Right? Wow. Teacher. Anyway, hopefully enjoy this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, brushes, links below for those of you who love my brushes. By the way, you can use a simple round brush. You don't have to buy my brushes, but I'd appreciate the support. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode. Maybe in the next episode I'll try painting something, because I feel like painting something now that I've drawn quite a few things. So I may paint something. So yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.